The remote control. The evening it happened was painfully ordinary. The news murmured softly from the television, the familiar anchor's voice rising and falling like a tide I had listened to for years. The scent of peach cobbler drifted from the kitchen, sweet and buttery, mingling with the sharper smell of freshly brewed coffee cooling beside my chair. I was sitting in my green velvet armchair, the one I bought with the first Social Security check after Harold passed away 15 years ago. I remember walking into the furniture store alone, determined to prove that widowhood would not reduce me to something small. That chair had been my declaration of independence. It had become my throne. The family room was quiet, the kind of quiet earned after a long day of tiptoeing around other people's moods. This hour, between dinner and bedtime, belonged to me. No requests, no demands, no adjustments. Just me. Then the front door slammed. Not closed, slammed. I didn't turn my head. I didn't need to. I knew the weight of that sound. Derek. He walked into the room as if it were a lobby he had recently acquired. Expensive sneakers thudded against my hardwood floor. Behind him came my daughter, Lena, arms full of shopping bags, shoulders slightly curved inward, as though apologizing for existing. Derek didn't greet me. He never did unless he needed something. Instead, he stepped directly in front of the television, blocking my view. He exhaled sharply through his nose, that habitual sound of irritation he made whenever he saw me sitting down. Without asking, without even looking at me, he picked up the remote from the table. Click. The screen went black. Silence landed in the room like something heavy and violent. "Go to your room, old woman," he said, casually, already turning toward the couch. "The game's on. This living room is mine now." Mine. The word echoed. I did not react immediately. Years in the county recorder's office had trained me well. When something shocking happens, you do not respond emotionally. You observe, you assess, you document. Slowly, I turned my head toward Lena. She stood in the doorway between the kitchen and the family room. Her knuckles were white around the paper handles of her shopping bags. Our eyes met. In that silent exchange, I waited for one sentence, one simple human sentence. "Don't speak to my mother like that. This is her house." But Lena lowered her gaze. She adjusted one of the bags, pretending to rearrange something inside. That movement hurt more than Derek's words, because shouting is crude. Silence is betrayal. A cold clarity washed over me. Not anger, not humiliation, clarity. I stood up. My knees made their familiar clicking sound, dry, precise, final. Derek was already sprawled across my sofa, loosening his tie, cracking open a soda can as though he had just claimed territory in a conquest. I walked to my bedroom without a word, not to cry, not to hide, but to retrieve what I had allowed myself to forget. From the bottom drawer of my dresser, I removed a worn leather pouch. Inside lay documents, old, official, irrefutable. The deed. Owner, Celeste M. Everson. I ran my fingers over the raised seal. In the mirror above the dresser, I saw myself. Short gray hair, glasses on a chain, soft linen blouse. The harmless grandmother. For 4 years, I had let them treat me like furniture. Because I believed patience was kindness, but patience without boundaries is surrender. I placed the deed back into the folder, slipped the keys into my pocket, and returned to the family room. Derek didn't even glance at me. "Taking a stroll?" he sneered. "Don't get lost." I didn't respond. I walked to the front door, turned the deadbolt, opened it. Before stepping outside, I looked around once. The framed print of the Savannah riverfront, the rug I vacuumed every Saturday, my armchair. Then I closed the door, quietly, firmly, like ending a sentence. The hotel. The Grand Hyatt lobby smelled of polished marble and lavender. The doorman opened the car door with more courtesy than I had received in my own home in years. "Luggage, ma'am?" "Just my purse," I replied. "And my dignity." In the hotel room, I turned on the television and set the volume exactly as I liked it. I ordered soup and a glass of Cabernet. I ate slowly, deliberately, not hiding in my bedroom, not rushing to clear dishes, not shrinking. Then I made a phone call. "Andrew Sterling," came the familiar voice. "I need to evict 2 tenants," I said. Silence. "Celeste? Your daughter and son-in-law?" "Yes." "What happened?" "He turned off my television and told me the living room was his." Another silence. Then, "I'll prepare the papers." The papers. The next morning, a young associate named Roman Cruz rang my doorbell. I wasn't there, but Lena was. Later, my phone vibrated. "Mama," Lena's voice cracked. "There's a man here with legal documents. Derek is furious. What is happening?" "It's an eviction notice," I said calmly. 30 days. "You've lost your mind." For the first time in years, I am completely sane. I ended the call. Then I suspended the internet, the cable package, the supplementary bank card in Lena's name. One by one, the invisible cords that kept them comfortable on my dime were cut. At a restaurant that afternoon, I received a text from the bank. "Transaction declined. $85. Butcher shop." I smiled. For the first time in a long time, I tasted my food. The lobby confrontation. Lena came to the hotel that evening. She looked exhausted. "The internet is off. The card won't work. Derek says you're humiliating us." "Humiliation," I said quietly, "is being told to go to your room in your own house." Her lips trembled. "If we leave, he says he'll divorce me." "If your marriage depends on my mortgage," I replied, "then you were never married. You were renting stability." She stared at me. For the first time, truly stared. "I have given you 30 days, I said. "Use them wisely." The conference room. The meeting at Andrew's office was not dramatic. It was precise. Derek attempted legal jargon. Andrew dismantled it calmly. I presented financial statements. 4 years of saving had resulted in debt, margin calls, risky investments. Lena read the documents. I watched the moment her illusion collapsed. She had not been living in security. She had been living in fantasy. 30 days, I said. After that, formal eviction. Derek glared at me. "You're breaking up the family." "No, I am unplugging a lie." Day 30. I did not stay home the day they moved out. Roman handled the inventory. The keys were returned. There were holes in the wall from mounted televisions, scratches on the floor, but the house stood. When I returned, I opened every window. The air moved through the rooms like breath returning to lungs. I scrubbed the floors myself. Warm water, disinfectant, methodical strokes. This was not revenge. This was reclamation. The next day, painters arrived. Peach, soft, warm, forgiving peach. The house felt lighter immediately. Lena's return. She knocked, like a guest. "I rented a studio apartment," she said. "It's small, but it's mine." "And Derek?" "I filed for divorce." We sat at the table with tea between us. "Thank you for saying no," she whispered. "It wasn't about punishment," I said. "It was about order." She nodded. For the first time, I can hear myself think. Wednesday at 4. Word spread quietly among the neighbors. Betty arrived in tears. Her son wanted her to sign over her house. Investment opportunity, he'd said. I poured tea. "You never sign away your roof to prove love," I told her. "Write a will instead. Keep ownership while you're alive." We discussed passwords, separate bank accounts, limited powers of attorney, boundaries written in ink. By the end of the afternoon, Betty stood straighter. No drama, just knowledge. Knowledge is steadier than courage. The remote. That evening, I sat once again in my green velvet armchair. The peach walls glowed softly. The remote lay on the table. I picked it up, turned on the television. Music filled the room. No footsteps approached. No hand reached over mine. I increased the volume by one small click, exactly as loud as I liked it. Not louder, not softer. Enough. And I understood something, finally, fully. Ownership is not just about deeds and keys. It is about silence that belongs to you, about choosing who sits at your table, about deciding the volume of your own life. I leaned back in my chair. The house breathed steadily around me, and for the first time in 4 years, so did I. My name is Noah. I am 73 years old, and I have finally learned that the most important person I have to love and protect is myself. If you like my story, you can support me so I can make more stories. Thank you. Tell me in the comment what's your opinion about this story.